What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start? Round one. We got an amazing show for you here today. I think I came up with a solution on how to fix boxing. I'm going to explain. You're going to want to watch this video right here. If you haven't already, please give these videos a like. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. And like always, let's get right into this video. Well, we got some interesting news here today. Um, this is gonna be a pretty big video by itself, but I also have unfortunate boxing news to report. It seems to be that the WBC, I'm sorry, let me correction, the WBO Gold Cruiserweight Champion Paul has seemed to pass away in recent days. He passed away. They're not sure if he passed away from his injuries he sustained in the fight, uh, but he passed away. And once again, boxing is being scrutinized. You know, I want to share one thing on that, but before I share something on it, I just want to give him a moment of silence to one of our fallen brothers in the sport of boxing. He would deeply be missed. Um, when you're pursuing something you love to do, your passion, whatever it may be, if by any chance a tragedy was to strike and you were to die doing the one very thing you love to do, I would think there would be no other better way. I've seen players get injured, massive injuries in the sport they love, and get right back on that bike. So, injuries happen in every sport. When it happens in ours, it seems to be one of the biggest things that people frown on because of the nature of the sport, the violent nature of it. We've seen this happen on NBA basketball courts where there's very little contact. We've seen men collapsed on golf course. Doesn't matter. I guess when it's your time, it's your time. But I believe as long as they were doing the one thing they loved to do, they were fortunate enough to chase their dreams. Doesn't make it right, but I believe that our sport of boxing is just as dangerous, if not, you know, the same as any other sport. So my condolences goes out to his families, and he will be missed in the sport of boxing. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. And as you join into the live stream, I would like you guys to, hopefully, you guys watch this part of the video. And my question to boxing fans all over the world, are you happy the way boxing scoring and judging has been of late? And if you're not happy with the way some of these fights are being scored, for instance, do you believe the right man won in the Tyson Fury Usyk fight? Do you guys believe in a lot of these fights when O'Shaughnessy Foster lost his title? Fights like that. Um And when you think about these situations and the officiating and the referees, what could be a way we could fix all of this? So before I get into that, let's talk about some of the other sports and what's different between their sport and ours. See, many of these sports like boxing, baseball, football, throughout the years, they have adapted. They have added new things to their game to make their game much interesting. They felt like in the NBA, the 3-point line was a little too close. So they pushed it further back, didn't they? Football NFL is so strong that when the basketball season starts, they needed something in the NBA to keep the fans engaged. They start this mini series tournament in the beginning of the NBA season now. And throughout the years, slight rules and things have been changed. But the one thing about every major sport that is different than boxing, the scoreboard. Every time you see your NFL team down by 7 in the fourth quarter, you know exactly what they got to do. You know how much time's left on the clock. You know what the score is, and they know the assignment. They can see the desperation and they have to get back into the fight. They don't think they've been fighting for 10 rounds and they got to guess to see if they're up on the scorecards. My suggestion to fix boxing is to put the scoring of every round on a scoreboard. When your fight is coming into the 10th round, everybody in the arena, everybody at home can look at the scoreboard and say, up, this guy's going to need a knockout to come back. And at the same time, the fighters can see it. It will give them incentive to fight harder if they know they're officially down in the fight. If they were to see a scoreboard, if Edgar Berlanga knew how many rounds he actually lost, if these fighters knew that the fight, it would give them more motivation and it would keep the sport honest. It wouldn't be like all these assumptions that Turkey Al Sheep stood up in the middle of the Usyk fight and went to the ring and put his hands on the mat. Yes, so hasn't Floyd Mayweather done that before. Just men of power doing powerful shit. But that opens the door to conspiracy theories when no one knows who is up in the fight at that time. If by every round the scorecards are tallied and they're passed in and the scores are put on the board, there would be no way of definitive cheating because every round, the next round is the unknown unless you got a time machine. So as the judges are officially scoring the fight round by round, you would be able to see it. Yo, kid, we're in the 5th round. You're down 4-1 right now. You got to turn this around. And the judges can't change their mind. I think if Turkey Al Sheikh wants to bring like AI and all these other solutions to these problems, I don't think that's the solution. I don't think an AI generated computer can determine how effective his punch was versus his punch. If the punching system is based by effective punching, not punches landed. You can hit me with 20 jabs. If I hit you with a big punch and you wobble, guess who wins the round? They deemed that your 20 jabs had no effect on me, but my one punch staggered you. I win the round. An AI computer generated is not going to be able to determine that. Is the AI machine going to award cuts, blood, forward aggression? Like, what is this computer judging? Now, you could eliminate the millions of dollars you would have to pay to come up with an AI generated referee. You know how much money that would cost? Rather than after every round, The scorecards and who was winning the rounds and what the judges were, how they were seeing it, was immediately put up on the scoreboard. For many different ways, that would be a great concept to use. One, you're not going to spend millions of dollars on it. You have the same system already developed, right? All you would have to do is be keeping them honest. And we would know round by round. It eliminates everything. And I think that's one of the ways we could fix boxing. You guys let me know as you guys come in here. What do you think about my suggestion? What's up? Great Gumbo. Yo, what's up, baby? How you doing? I, listen, it's one of the ways I believe you can keep track of who's winning in the fight, how the referees are seeing the fight, and it will be no more speculation at the end of the fight. I mean, yeah, one thing you're not gonna have to sit around at the end and determine in suspense of who they awarded the fight to. And the closing of the 12th round, you would already know, huh, this guy won the fight. And I'd rather have it like that rather than this secret, what is this conspiracy where that they're always hiding the score from us in boxing? Where is it that we're not allowed to see who's winning? When in every sport there's a score. You know what's going on, but not in boxing. It looks like they've adopted this mysterious way of still controlling the fight. And what we got to do by fixing some of these, judges and refereeing is it's like basically playing a card game with all your cards being shown. You're not hiding anything. With all the other rules that they have in boxing, that would be one way to get a big step in front of boxing. And I also think that it would attract fans. When fans can actually see who's winning and for betting, right? And betting wise, as the fight's going along, you know how Las Vegas changes their odds. You would definitely say these things. And I think it would bring even more eyes to the sport. Yeah. See, Dana White in the UFC, he uses a cash bonus to do exactly that. He does like fight of the night, knockout of the night, or, performance of the night, $50,000 bonuses. When the fight you got signed for, you're only making $14,000. The bonus is almost triple what you're going to make. The incentive of you winning or wanting to fight and perform better, it's way higher. You're only getting $14,000 for this fight. But if I go out there and knock this guy out, I'll get $50,000 extra. Man, I'm trying to knock his head off. And Dana White knew that. So that's how he uses money as an incentive. This, you would have the scoreboard and you use the scoreboard as an incentive. If Loma knew he was down on the scorecards coming into that 12th round against Tio, what do you think how Loma and Tio would have went at it in that 12th round? How many fights were razor thin that coming into the 12th round, that's the round those fighters need? And on the scoreboard, they look up and that incentive of you knowing, man, listen, this is too close. I think it would bring more out of the fighters. Yeah. Then, one step at a time, right? We implement this as the scoring as our judging, right? Now I believe one of the biggest steps we would have to work on after that would be, of course, the rule structure in every state, every country. It has to be the same. This thing about you flying out to Japan and the rules change, then you coming out to Las Vegas and the rules change. You go to New York and the rules change, and you go to California and the rules change. You go to the Philippines, the rules change. You fight in China, the rules change. Sometimes you got to chase down these champions because these belts are not always in the US. And that guy doesn't want to fight in enemy territory. So you might have to venture out to Portugal, China, Australia. You might have to go out there to go get those belts to bring them back. So Devin Haney had to go to Australia to fight George Camboza for the 3. But the rules are different out there than they are. So I believe one step at a time, we can implement one rule or one suggestion and start to evolve like all the other sports have. All the other sports, throughout the years, they've evolved. Remember when in basketball, right? You used to be able to hold the ball, and if you just passed the ball around, you could just kill the clock, and they couldn't do nothing about it. What they do about that? They established the 24-second rule. So you got to shoot within 24 seconds. In baseball, it was so long that they had to bring fans back. Now they got a pitching count where that the pitcher he has to pitch the ball within a certain to speed up the game. Every game has implemented new rules and new ways to keep the fans engaged. The one thing about boxing sometimes that fans are like, and they show that unofficial scorecard, and some fans think that that's the real scorecard. And that don't mean nothing. That's just a commentator putting up what he's thinking, what he's watching. But this way, we're watching the official scorecards go up. Round by round, we know the score of the match. And I think that that's the difference between every other sport we watch. You could always look up to the scoreboard and see what's going on. You happen to come in a boxing match in the 8th round, good luck. You have no idea who's winning this fight. You're going to have that. Yo, who's winning the fight? Who's winning the fight? Who do you think's winning the fight? Hey, yo, you'll have no idea. But if you walk in a boxing match in the 8th round and there's a scoreboard up there, definitively it's going to tell you, this guy's winning. I know what's going on. I know, and my guy and that guy right there knows exactly what he needs to do. I think it would add more fire and more anticipation to these fighters in key moments in certain fights. Yes, I do. What's up, brother? Salute. Tell me what you guys think about this, man. Like there's a lot of things that have to be fixed in the sport of boxing, but if anybody can get this message out to Turkey Alex Sheik, rather than spending all that money in some computer AI generated machine that's going to cost you millions, you already have a good system put in place. It's not the best system in the world, but it works. The referee is the one that we have. Rather than changing the opinions of everybody else and all the refereeing, you already have experience. The AI has no experience, boxing experience of what they're looking at or what they should be watching out for. I'm in agreement that a lot of these referees watch matches throughout the world and their rule and the way that they view it might be slightly different in another country. So when you call that referee from out there, because you're saying, okay, Usyk is Ukrainian, right? And the British, Tyson Fury, right? So we don't want no refereeing of their native. So we're going to call in the referees from all over the world It's a good concept. The problem with that is each referee from different parts of the world, they have a different eye for the sport. They have been taught to referee and officiate and to watch for certain things. But if their rules are not the same as yours, then that means that you guys are not watching for the same things. You see? But had the rules been the same all around, you would have a bunch of men and women that are on the same page. They were taught to view it the same way, no matter where you are. And since we all know that the refereeing office is an outside source, meaning they're not hired by any of the sanctioning bodies. Even the referees in the UFC were, when the UFC was kicking off, they were boxer referees. That's all they had. They weren't like no Miss Martial Art UFC office. You can't just have a guy in the street from a gym come in and officiate an official sanctioned UFC fight. In order for them to pull off a UFC fight, they got to fall by the guidelines of the athletic committee. They have they have a fighting committee that looks over all combat sports. You got to deal with their regulations and their rules. And according to them, you got to, for any of your matches, you got to only hire from the referee association, which is this building. So they tell you, you got to call them. The only men that should be in that ring are somebody from their office. You can't just take Coach Bob and put him in a UFC fight because he knows what he's looking for. Although Coach Bob might be more educated, they're going to send you a boxing referee. That's what it's been like. And Dana White used to get pissed. Remember? We got to do something about this refereeing. These referees don't know what ground time, pounding, ground control is. They're boxer referees. What do they know about mixed martial art? That was a big problem with Dana White in the beginning when he was coming up in the UFC. That was a huge problem, that the referees that were in the ring were boxer referees, combat sport referees. That's the best you were going to get. And you couldn't do anything about it because you had to go through their association. They're the ones that were deemed, stamped, approved. They're the only game in town. They're worldwide. Same organization, refereeing people. They branch off from here. They got a different name from their different name, from their different name, but they're all the same entity, refereeing. Yeah. So, so, so my point is boxing needs to evolve. They need to come to start to change some of these rules to get the fights back and keep you engaged. This system that I'm talking about, I think it'll keep boxing more honest. Yeah, as far as betting odds and people will come. They'll gamble round by round. If you could see it, you'll be better to want to. Oh yeah, I know what's going on. Let's go. And the fans will know. And no more sitting back at home going, Francis Ngannou just beat Tyson Fury. I'm telling you, he just beat him. And the winner is Tyson Fury. What the bro? It won't be no more mystery. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I think the AI judge is just an experiment. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It wasn't. It was the first time they used it in a boxing match to see how it went. The AI judging had no official outcome on the fight. What the AI computer came up with, it was just a testing. It was just like, we're going to use this event in a real event, in a real setting, and they're testing it out and trying to fix all the kinks and where they feel like the AI machine went wrong a little or went right. And I'm pretty sure the AI computer is fucking smart as fuck, you know what I mean? And that it can do it, you know, it can give you a rough, accurate, but I don't really think that it can determine when a fighter gets hurt by a body shot. How does that AI machine go, oh, that was an effective body shot? If the guy just went and he wore it well, his face expression didn't change. He knows how to take a punch, but boy, was that a strong body shot, and he knows it. How is the AI determine that? The referees determine that because, and the judges determine that because they're the closest to the action. They're right there and right against the ring, right there, and they can actually hear and see the punches better than anybody else in that arena. And you can hear the guy go, ooh, that was a good punch. Or bam, boom. You see him stagger. You see all the smaller things. Now, um, the human eye and the human element of judging a fight might not always be correct. But in the middle of these fights, the fans can see where one judge or, which one it is. And these judges can be called out on their credibility. Because as a judge, to be called to officiate one of the biggest fights, that's an honor. And as a judge, you wanted to have your name to the Tyson Fury Usyk fight, for the belts, the Terrence Crawfords of the world, and you want them to call you back. So as an officiate, if you do a bad job, they know exactly what judge was doing that, right? He won't be called back. They're gonna be like, no, we don't know what the hell he was watching. 116 to 111. Like, yo, what the hell are you watching? Like, right? So it the judges and the referees, you guys think that all the time. Yeah, these guys are so eager to come to the aid of a fighter, right? And fans and boxing coaches will say the next time, we don't want that referee. You can send us anybody else. We just don't want him. You don't want that to be the case that every time they pick up the phone in the referee office, send me anybody but that guy right there. We do not, you won't be called back to ever be in the ring with some of the best fights in the world. A lot of these referees are photographed with Ali, George Foreman, that referee that was in there like that. He was in the ring. He was the third man in the ring. To have that honor, you think these referees just want to throw that away? Their reputation of being a straight shooter. Yeah, I want that referee back. You know what? That referee did a good job. Every time he clinched, he made him break. He gave him, awarded him for the fouls. Yo, that was a good referee right there. He gave him a chance in the fight. He called the fight in the right time. He didn't let the guy get hurt. He's a good referee. We want that guy. You know, and like guys are asked now in the list of what you'll get, or like I said, the three. You could say, yeah, I want that guy, that guy, that guy. They could send you a multiple variations, and you might get that guy or something. But the thing is that you're not getting the referee because you think he's biased for your guy. You're just getting the referee because you're saying he's actually a good referee. It's not like you would be saying, hey, send me that guy because he's on my side. No, I'm asking for that referee because that referee did his job. I want that guy, and let win, lose, or draw. That's up to us as a team. And then that's up to my fighter. And in fact, if you don't want any of these refereeing or judges interfering with your victory, I suggest you knock the guy out. There could be no conspiracy theory then, could they? Oh, the referee, the judges, they were in on it. You want me to eliminate all that? Bow! Done. No controversy. Knock him out. Done deal. If Tyson Fury thinks that the Saudi prince sold him out, here are some interesting things, right? You have at it, right? Let's just not forget that Tyson Fury can't be promoted probably anywhere else in the world. His visa got taken away by the FBI. Him, his dad, his brother, they can't enter the US. This is no secret. Then you got him fighting against what many fans believe is the next best thing. And Usyk can be promoted anywhere in the world. You could bring him to New York, to Las Vegas. He doesn't always have to fight out there in the desert, right? But Tyson can't. So if he wins, the Saudi prince got to promote his heavyweight champion. Let's just all remember why he made a ring out there in the desert in the first place. He did that for Tyson Fury. So all this is really based off of Tyson Fury. But like anything in life, out with the old, in with the new. Who's hot right now? Usyk. Got the war over there, all kinds of things. But even with all that, right? They're both doing business with the Saudi prince. Who's more marketable in the end? Usyk versus Dubois too. The way Dubois been looking, he's got the other belt. Big storyline. You don't have to put that fight in the desert. You could actually bring that fight to Las Vegas. But you couldn't do that if Tyson Fury won again. If Tyson Fury won that night and they had to do a trilogy, guess where the trilogy was going to be? Out there. Why? Tyson Fury can't go anywhere. So when it comes to dollars and cents, you have at it. What do you think he was going to back? I'm not sure. You got one guy that's on fire. You got the other guy that at times you don't know if he's coming or going. He has a history of drug and alcohol abuse and depression. Why this guy is fighting when you want him to fight. Not sure. David the Monster Benavides and David Morale are scheduled to have a fight. And David the Monster Benavides, his brother, older brother, Jose, he just got added onto that card. So now Jose's going to also fight on that card. So there are a lot of things that are still changing. Fights are being scheduled, and it's never too late to implement some of these rules and to change some of these things in boxing. Let me read some of you guys' comments. I see you guys typing over here. What's up, Frontline? How you doing in the building, baby? I do know about, yeah, higher operation. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I don't know anything about that shit, brother. You know, you could be more familiar with us, and if you want to share with us or let us know how that shit works, I would love for you to, let us know. Um, I don't know anything about AI like that or how you know, the cameras or what they're using for like movement and the mobility of how they feel. without the bulbs actually on the person. You know how when they do like in a video game, they put like these suits on them and they got like these little things, which kind of gives the computer a layout of how the person moves without the the AI image tearing. It determines how far the person can go, how he can stretch, and it won't look abnormal rather than the machine stretching you out in a weird motion that the body doesn't move. That's why they put those sensors on your body when they're putting like video games, and they're trying, and they also have like the real person come in. So if they can have that, feature, they'll scan them, and the computers try to start to mold his image and how he moves and everything. And throughout the courses of years, video games have gotten really good, right? Now, as AI, that's like that on crack. So AI is like super, like big, fast. They don't need to put the bulbs on you and shit and all this other stuff. Like, I guess their cameras and the way they're using it, it can scan the person like right in the ring, I guess. Now, the way AI probably in my head, the way I see it in my head, I don't know anything about this really, right? Um, maybe I know more about it than I think, but because I know how shit works, right? But maybe it can determine the force of a punch while moving, the momentum. You know how like a cop can determine the speed when you go by in a car? Maybe it could really determine movement. I'm not sure how much of the AI machine, they always say AI machines get smarter with every time. So how many fights would it need to get to the point? And will the AI machine over exceed its own perfection? Meaning, does the machine say, well, out of the 120 fights I saw, punches were landed like this, and in this fight, these guys weren't that strong? Or like what is is the computer making the decision? Is it forced to be honest? And because it's like AI is like artificial intelligence. So when I think of artificial intelligence, isn't the computer making the decision? We're not feeding it information. It's not like we're typing it in, telling it that was a strong body shot. The computer's deciding. So could it outgrow its own way of scoring and say, no, you got to be more perfect? I don't know how smart this thing is. I don't know how it evolves. I don't know what it determines. Could I smack you like this? Or can I slap you like that? Did it decide because of my speed? Does it know that I could do a 1.5 inch punch and I don't need no speed? And I could clearly knock you out with that. Does it know how to generate the force of power and an inside uppercut with very little movement? You snap it off. He drops. And may have not been as brutal as a guy reaching back and it counting its speed of the torque. I'm not sure if it could determine that. I'm, can it read? Is it that smart that it can? How like the world got you thinking that sometimes shit is way better than what it actually is. Sometimes, right? You'll see like a live game, and you're sitting at home, and they're putting a blue dot underneath your guy, and the guy's moving the arrow and everything, And you're like, wow, that's in like live action and shit, right? That they're doing these things. So when they're explaining what the computer AI looks at, they show you two guys, see-through guys. The guy punches, and the a red thing indicates on his rib, and it goes bam. And it was like it tries to tell you that that was a hard punch. How the fuck did the AI scan my body to the echo that goes through my body that really determined that the punch was stiffer, stronger, faster, with a snap or power? Because all punches are not thrown. Sambab! No. I could try to bait you with this hand. Pap. I'm line you up. Use it as a rangefinder. Pap, you're this close. Boom. Or I can go boom, boom. Right? We could be tied up on the inside. Slip. This machine can do all that. And if that machine can do that, why is it calling fights? Fuck, have it save the planet. Get it out the fucking ring. If that can do all that, what the fuck? You're doing the wrong thing with this amazing technology. I can imagine that AI software costs millions of dollars. Rather than let's just be honest with the suggestion I'm making to fix boxing. My suggestion: after every round, collect the scorecards, give it to the official like they always do in every fight, but they put the score up on a monitor after every round. The boxer can see if he's down in the fight. Going into the 6th round, you can see it's 3-3, 4-2, whatever. It would give the fighter more incentive, and it would allow the fans to know exactly what's going on, and it won't let them change their scorecards. What is the big mystery that the only sport that they hide the score is boxing? You go to a basketball game, there's a scoreboard. You go to a football game, there's a scoreboard. Any game, there's a scoreboard. It allows you to know what's going on. In boxing, it's a mystery. They got this fake score at home. You watch it, the unofficial scoreboard. That don't mean shit. We want the real score on a board. Bro, I think that will wake boxing up. And you won't have to think, oh, this guy's getting paid. You could see by the 7th round what judge is throwing the fight. Yo, judge, get your shit together. Right? And another thing is, maybe the judging should not be viewed by eye all the time. Maybe they should have the monitors like we see it, and you could see the pop better. Different angles. The judges have the monitor in front of them, and throughout the course of the round, they got a minute to check out punches. They can clip through punches. The computer-generated AI that you would have would be watching the fight, recording it, and the AI, whatever most effective punches it determined, give it to the judge in the clicker. He goes, yup, good. Here you go. Bam, put it on the scoreboard. Let's go, bro. Simple. You ain't got to pay all that money to that freaking computer. Just get something. They've been filming fights for years. Hey, Tim, check out this instant replay. They got no problem doing it. Give it to them. Yup. I remember that. Yup. Score. Put it on the board. Tally the numbers up at the end of the fight. There's your winner. For betting odds as the rounds are going on in Las Vegas, Who's winning the fight? Definitively, we know it's right there. A scoreboard. Give us a scoreboard in boxing, just like in any other sport. Put the score on the. I think it'll help boxing. What do you guys think? That would be a game changer. Yo, help me advocate this. Share this video with me, guys. Get it out there. Put tags, whoever you need to tag. Get them to see this idea. I don't care who takes credit for it. My brother Jose was the one that suggested it to me. I'll give my brother credit too. Right? I'm going to tell you right now. Just let's see if we can get it to happen. Get this message to Turkey al-Sheikh. That man can do this. He can put that in the sport. He's got power. I don't like people don't like everything I do, right? But when you have a voice, I feel like I do have a voice. And if you guys can even carry my voice with me and get it to the people that might make these changes, the real boxing gods. Share my video, like my video, man. Get it out there. It would be a game changer. I know it will be, bro. And then we could work on these rules on every other country and start changing them all to one structure. It would make things less confusing. And we as boxing fans would know. When you watch the Dallas Cowboys go play the New England Patriots, the rules are the same. Just because you leave Dallas, they're the same rules. A first down is a first down. 10-yard pass is 10-yard pass, no matter what stadium you go to. You know how to identify the game, you know what's going on in the game, and you know what to expect from the game. Am I correct? When you go into boxing, you got to ask, is the 3 knockdown rule in effect? What country are we in? Because some countries don't honor that rule. Some countries, it's a mandatory. Okay? It's just, sometimes you got to look up and go, where are we fighting? Is there tape on the skin or is it gauze? That's important. When you're gambling in a fight, you want to know every advantage you can get to place a bet. And I think that some of these rules are important. But now I got to look up where I'm fighting all the time to remind myself, wait a minute. I just saw this guy go down 3 times. I won. And the referee's counting on the 4th one. You're like, what's going on? What's going on? I won. No 3 knockdown rule out here. We don't honor that shit. Then I think we can work on these other rules. But this right here, I really think it would be a game changer. That's my opinion. It would keep the boxing matches honest, at least in that regards, as who is the victor. You know, they want to use excuses. No, we don't want to let the world know what judge was calling this to protect the safety of the judge. Mother effers, you guys put the scorecard sometime on the screen immediately after the fight. You announce the judges' names before the fight. You weren't keeping their identity a secret. What it seems like you want to keep a secret is control on who's winning the fight. You keep us in the dark into the outcome of the fight. No one actually knows who's winning. Who's to say one envelope doesn't get switched with another and your result is the one that's read off? No matter what they said. We're putting all our faith on the announcer, what he reads. For all I know, he's looking at it right now, and the cards are actually saying that guy won. But the announcer was told to say this guy won. You don't show us anything. How the judges can't argue their own point because the judges are saying, well, I was writing down that guy was winning. Each of the judges are looking at each other saying, wow, you saw the fight like that? And no, basically, they're saying whatever they want. You're reading off something, and we're taking it that you're actually reading those scorecards off. Who's to say you're not? You can say whatever. Hey, would you say a Saudi prince envelope? That's a and the winner is who's to say that? Come on. But if you give us a scoreboard, we know. And that's the one thing I feel out of all sports. And I don't want to keep reiterating, but I see people joining us. And just in case they, missed a little bit of what I was sharing, that's why I find myself saying it again because I don't want to miss anyone. I would hope that you would go back and watch this video and figure out what my suggestion on how to fix boxing. And I really think that this would be a game changer for the sport. I really do. Um, and then, like I said, we could always start to work on from there. But every sport I've noticed, they all try to evolve. They all making game changing decisions. The NBA entered that new little championship series in the beginning of their season to keep the fans engaged because the beginning of the season is boring for the NBA. So they try to spice things up, and that's what you need to do. Every sport has evolved. Football, you can't hit those quarterbacks as much no more. Why? Because a quarterback isn't a dime a dozen. You're not going to always find a human being with an arm like that can throw, that can be accurate, that can do it under the bright lights with the pressure. And if you want to see your Joe Montana or Tom Brady play for an extensive career, you're going to have to protect him. If not, he's going to have a short career and he's going to end up, after 3, 4, 5 years in the NFL, gone, never seen him because you're allowing them to clothesline him. But if you take away the clothesline, you get to enjoy that quarterback for an extensive period of time. That's business. Protect the quarterback. There's not a Brady out there every day, a Joe Montana, a Aaron Rodgers. Those guys are like rare. Do you see the revolving door in the NFL? You see one guy one year, the next year you may never see him again. The life expectancy in the NFL is 6 years. The life expectancy of you keeping your job is the first 2 years. You might be out of there before you even tighten up your chin strap. That's how fast the players are going. And the competition is fierce. Name me 10 elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I'll wait. That's why you got to protect them. The sports evolve. They understand the market value of bringing the fans in. The fans don't want to hear, oh, he was a great quarterback, but he got beat up in 2 years and now he's not playing. And now we suck again. No, the fans want to see Tom Brady play for 20 years. And if they could, another 20. That's why you got to evolve in your sport to make it better. I believe this is one of the ways I feel like off of the system you already have. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. No, you already have this way of system. Those judges are already viewing the fight. I'm just saying, be honest with us. Put it on a scoreboard. Just like anything we watch in sports. What's the score of the game, guys? The guy can come in, fourth quarter. Hey, I just made it. What's the score? Look at the TV. Oh, I know the score of the game. Let that guy walk in the house in the 10th round. Who's winning? No one knows. They've been going at it. It's too close. We don't know. We lost count. If you had a scoring system, you wouldn't lose count now, would you? And then the fighter would be more motivated in his corner. He'd look up Damn, bro, I need a knockout. Damn, bro, this fight is, I need this round. I can't let this round go. Damn, I thought I lost that. I won that last round. They gave it to him. Damn, let me get in there. It for both sides in so many ways. I think this would be real good for boxing. It would be, and I'm putting this out there, and I want to hear what you guys got to say. What do you guys got to think? And then so we'll talk about that. So let's talk about boxing too as well. I unfortunately I reported on the tragedy of the cruiserweight. Let me get his name here. His name is was Paul Bombo was his name. I'm sorry if I'm that's why I didn't want to dare to even take to say his name because I kind of mess him up. And unfortunately, tragedy struck. He passed away. I believe it was December 28th today. Oh shit, he passed away today. I thought it was the 29th and I was reading it today. Like if the story was, wow, he passed. They're not sure if he passed away from his injury sustained in the fight. Paul Paul Bamba, Bamba. He was 19-3. He was ranked number 12 by the WBA in the cruiserweight division. 200 pounds and down like that. He passed away. He just won the WBA gold title. It was a secondary belt, or however the WBA is judging their fighters today. I think they finally did away with their supers. I mean, there was rumors about the WBA eliminating the super titles and all that other stuff. I just had a lot of things going on in my life, Christmas, holidays, grandpa, a couple things that I haven't really been able to follow up on every story I like to. I like to do my due diligence and go up and follow some things. And one of the stories that I was following was what's going on with the WBA, box rec, and things like that. So I promised to get more information of what the hell the WBA is doing with their belt so that we can have a better understanding of how they're viewing their champions. So that's going to be something I'm going to get back into. As far as these fights, like I reported, Jose Benavidez has been added to the David the Monster Benavidez fight card. Naoya Inoue, Sam Goodman, they're going to be fighting out there in Japan. And that fight seems to be going good. I checked in to see with Sam Goodman's camp, radio silence. Radio silence. I mean, those little videos of him saying, he's good. And I'm not sure if those are old videos or that little training video that he was showing, that sparring one, since I never seen it before neither. I can't really say that that's the video of him training and that his face looked good and everything. They could just show me what they want. So I don't go by that unless I definitively know that, yeah, that's training video of today. But it seems like everything is going off without a hitch. Oh, fingers crossed. Sam Goodman does get in this ring with Naoya in a way. Even if they gotta push him to the ring, get that man in this ring. Let's get over with this fight. And not to take away anything from Sam Goodman because I actually want to see the fight. I believe rightfully so. If you made your way up and you deserve your shot, well then man, you deserve your shot. I don't care what I think of as a fan, as Sam Goodman as a fighter that's been putting in the blood, sweat, and tears in the locker, in the gyms, and the ring, right? And winning all the fights he needed to win. Ask him if he deserves it. You're damn right he does. So, you know, whether what I feel like, there might be a skill gap here, that's not really up to me anymore. He legitimately earned his right to be here. So I'm gonna honor him as a worthy opponent. I welcome the Sam Goodman fight. It's amazing that Naoya Inoue took this fight. You know, Naoya Inoue, he had a lot of options, man. He could have moved up in weight. He could have fought that one dude everybody wanted him to fight for a money grab. But he didn't. What he decided to do is next fight the next man up. If you earned your way, you're the next man up to my belt, then I would honor that and I'll fight you. Whether your name is big, whether you sell tickets, whether none of that. Long as you proved yourself to be here, then I'll fight you. I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that because Naoya Inoue is in a situation in his life, he could take any kind of gimme fight. He really can. And the fans are gonna back him up in Japan. He could fight a fucking guy number 30, 50, 100 ranked. He could pick any tomato can he wants. Guarantee it. They'll go out there and support him. But you know what he does? He picks the number one guys. Luis Pantera Nari was the number one for the WBC. TJ Doheny was the number two for the WBA. And now Sam Goodman is the number one for the IBF and the WBO. He fought 1, 2, and 1. And mind you, since the time he won the belts with Marlon Tapales, all those fights have been for 4 belts. 4 title defense. He defended all 4 of those belts. He's going on 3 times of putting all 4 belts on the line. Name me a fighter that's doing that. He's putting all his belts on the line. Usyk just put all his belts on the line against Tyson Fury, or the remaining of the belts he has. He does have the ringside but you can't win the ringside magazine. Even if you beat Usyk, you can't take that ringside magazine belt away from him. That's a trophy. That's awarded when like the number 1, number 2 guy fight each other. That's not even for a championship fight, the ringside magazine. It's an award that you wear around your waist. Rather than giving you a trophy, they just made it a belt. Some people think that that's actually what it is. Oh, it's a belt. Don't you see? It's around his waist. No, it's just a trophy shaped as a belt. That's all it is, the ringside magazine. You don't pay sanctioning fees to the ringside magazine. It isn't backed by anybody. Turkey Al just bought it. And I'm telling you that I think in the future, he's going to try to make the ringside magazine a legitimate belt. It has a lot of like historical value. Ringside magazine, it's a prestigious award in itself. Yes, it is. I would be honored to wear that belt. All the men and women that wore that ringside magazine, I understand, throughout the years, it became a popularity contest. And they're awarding it to men and women that are the most popular in the division. In order for the ringside magazine belt to be considered serious as a real world title, one, you would have to have one in every weight division. Like that. They don't currently have ringside magazine belts in all weight divisions. It's like heavyweight got one, Teofimo Lopez got one, Naoya got one, Terrence Crawford got one, but everybody else, there's no ringside magazine belt. You have the ability to win it, but now you mean to tell me that the only way you qualify to fight for that belt, you have to be the number 1 and 2? So there's rules and stipulations of how to win your belt or be awarded your belt. That means that not everybody is entitled to compete for it. That's what not makes it a belt. That you see, for all these belts, everybody in the division has the right to compete for it. You don't have to particular land in a category. What if the number 5 guy gets the phone call to fight the champion and he wins? He never had the opportunity to get in the number 1 or 2 slot. He went from being number 5 to champion. It happens all the time. So I skipped my opportunity of ever being awarded Ringside Magazine belt because I didn't land in that. It's not a belt that's fairly competed throughout the division. The most famous fighters in the division fight for it. That's who fights for that belt. The most popular fighters in the division, the people's champion. That's the guy that gets to fight for it. But anybody doesn't have to be the people's champion, the most famous, to fight for the IBF. You just got to be the number 1 contender. Make your way up the system the right way. That's what makes them real world titles. And the Ringside Magazine has never been a real world title. It's just an award, a trophy you put around your waist. A very prestigious one. You know, Rocky movies really made it famous, didn't they? If I'm showing my age, but if you ever were around in the Rocky era like me, and that red, white, and blue, looking like the flag and with the ruffles, that the Rocky movies really did something for that Ringside Magazine, didn't it? I feel like it did. You know, there are a lot of weird situations when you're on the outside looking in. You could view something one way and just automatically think you're like, oh, this is bullshit. Like a lot of fans took with Sylvester Stallone being elected into the Boxing Hall of Fame as a joke. People that don't really have vision, they see the first thing wrong with it. That's what it is. You're never going to change my mind. He doesn't belong in the Boxing Hall of Fame. He never actually laced up a pair of gloves and he never actually got in a ring. What the hell is Sylvester Stallone doing in the Hall of Fame? And there were a lot of people that were they were like, nope, nope. Now the Hall of Fame is a joke, right? But what those people are not taking into account, he's not in the Boxing Hall of Fame because he was a boxer. He's in the Boxing Hall of Fame for the eyes and the contribution he gave to the sport of boxing. Do you know how many men and women are boxing today because of Rocky? Or how they got inspired to come to boxing or watch boxing through watching a Rocky movie? How many millions of people have Rocky movies eyes have touched? People's eyes have viewed a Rocky movie. Oh, and by the way, the number's still growing. Because as long as those movies are out there, every day someone got the chance to watch another Rocky movie and being inspired to become a boxer. The contribution that Sylvester Stallone, by making those movies, what it did for boxing, that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. They never said he's in there because he got a world title. They never said he was the real deal. No, the Rocky movies and the influence that the millions of lives that he brought the story and the art of boxing to the world. His movies has done more than some of these men's careers. Multiple, maybe 100 of them combined, wouldn't get the eyes that Sylvester Stallone got to this sport. Yeah, he deserves to be in the Boxing Hall of Fame. There are different ways of viewing things. Yeah. And there's different reasons, but sometimes we see one thing one way and we're like, nah, nah, nah. And I'm like, hold up, let me just suggest another way of viewing it. And that's what I'm trying to do here today. I'm trying to suggest another way of improving the sport of boxing, which I believe um, providing us without a doubt, scoring. We're not left in the dark until the end of the match. Imagine playing an NBA basketball game with the scoreboard being off. And at the end of the game, they announce or expect you to count every bucket. You know how many people would be in the stadium like this? Professional score counter. They'll be sitting next to each other. I know who won the game. I know exactly who won the game. Right? You got one guy looking up. Yo, did you take away the foul in the second quarter? They didn't count that bucket. All right? Yeah. Huh? Imagine watching an NBA game with the scoreboard off. And at the end of the game, and the winner is the Celtics. Right? Yo, what the fuck? Like, fans got to stick around to, you know, if the team's getting blown out by 20 in the fourth quarter and there's 4 minutes left, I'm going to beat the traffic. I know what's going on. I got to go. Right? They're down by 20. Right? You're beating the traffic. And you're pulling out. And the score is tied up. No. I just missed the best game of my life. Right? For all those people that walked out on Tom Brady in the Atlanta game, Patriots are done. Woke up the next day, my boy called me. Damn, man, how the Patriots lose? What are you talking about? He's like, the Patriots got their ass kicked, man. I left early. Well, you missed the best comeback of your life because the Patriots won that one. Yo, he couldn't believe it, right? Some good moments in sports, bro. But we can see what's going on. Yeah. Boxing Fat salute. Armando, how you doing in the building, baby? Lionheart, how you doing, brother? You think that the scoreboard would make boxing boring? Let's see what this guy right here says. Right? I don't think so. I don't think so. The anticipation of the fight and someone getting robbed right before our eyes is not something like it would take away all the controversy of whether you think someone's bribing an official, the judges altering their scores, or you feel like they saw a better fight in the first half and didn't see a good fight in the second half. By putting everything up, nothing can change. The result of the fight would be the result of the fight leading into the 12th round. If we watch a fight already with an unofficial scoreboard at the bottom of our screen for God knows how long, every boxing match I've ever saw had an unofficial scoreboard at the bottom of the screen. So unofficially, you already thought you knew who won the fight. Did it take you or discourage you from still hearing the guy announce it? Ever once? Have you ever said, the unofficial said, I don't have to hear what he has to say. It took away my suspense. That's bullshit. You still wanted to officially hear the guy say the winner. So no matter what the score would be up there, you would have to hear it. And just like in a bowling scoring system, when I first went to play bowling, and I saw at the end of the game, it was like 112, 55, and they had like a line. I didn't understand the scoring system. Wasn't a professional bowler or an amateur one at that. I didn't know what I was looking at. So at times, they throw out these scores in 116, 112, 114, or one. Hold up, bro. Not everybody understands the scoring in boxing. But you know what I do understand? I can count rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know who won. And just because I had that unofficial scorecard at the bottom, he still had to read his thing. It'd be the same way. It'd be the same way. Before everybody started going like this, the score's already read. And the winner is, and you're still out there like this. Bam! You're going to get the same excitement. You just got to hear the official version. Now, if there's ever a fight where you're using my scoring system and they announce the other guy the winner, you got a lot of explaining to do. You're going to have a lot of explaining to do because if you're turning in the official scorecards and you're adding them up, it just keeps us honest. Hell no. There is Lionheart. There is. It's not a separate, like, per se, like, okay, where they have Steven Seagal in the Hall of, I mean, Steven Seagal, fuck, um, Sylvester Stallone, where they have Sylvester Stallone is in that part where that he's honored for his contribution. When you see his thing, right? When you see it, it explains all that. It explains the reason why they honor him. It shows the some of the clips of the Rocky movies, the pictures. It has him in that moment with Adrian like this. It has that picture where he's like yelling like that. So it does. It's like in a a different thing where that all the people in there are kind of like different men and women that contributed in one way or another. They'll be like right next to like Rocky there's gonna be like this announcer, a ring announcer, a sports announcer. He never fought in the ring. All he did was commentate and announce fights. That row of people, those kind of people, they're in their section. So it'll be like this other guy that he also gave his life to boxing too, like 30, 50 years of commentating. And that was the voice that you heard behind the radio. Like that guy, he's in there. There's a lot of interesting people that never boxed that are in the Hall of Fame. And then when you get to the men and women that laced it up, you better go to that other part of it. And that's where they'll have the like the champions and shit and what they did and so forth and so forth like that. But they got this section with all kinds of people that contribute to boxing that gave certain things, man. They got cutmen that been in a corner in world championship fights. He was in 80 championship fights as a cutman hired. Um, when you go to some of these fights, not all teams have cutmen. You could have your own cut guy, but you could hire one there. And every boxing match has them sanctioned there. And if you're a small team and you're not big and you don't have your own cutman, you could hire one. There's been men that have been working in the game 50 years and they're honored in the Hall of Fame for their contribution to what they did. Yeah, there's different ways of that. Yeah. I don't always look at the Hall of Fame as just one avenue. The only way through that front door, you had to have physically laced it up and do it, had an established or, a great career. No, that's not the only way you should walk through any Hall of Fame. There are men and women that do things for football, basketball, baseball, tennis that is really important to the sport and gave a lot to the sport. What about the inventor of the football? You don't think he should be put in the NFL Hall of Fame? The guy that designed the football. that made the first pigskin. He never played NFL football, so he doesn't belong in here. The guy that made the cleats, the first Nike cleats, the guy of the invention of the strap, or none of those people you feel should go to a Hall of Fame? There's other ways to give back, and we have to learn that as fans. Oh yeah, you're right. That could be a good way to get in. And you should be honored. You're the man that invented the basketball. You're damn right. Yeah, you never played in an NBA game, but damn it, get in here with us. You provided the very ball that we're all making a living off of. You should be honored. Without you, I'm nothing. The guy that invented headgear or boxing gloves. So, nah, I don't think it should just be all athletes all the time in a Hall of Fame. No. Not when I actually went to a Hall of Fame. That's when I changed my vision. I used to be like that. What the fuck is Sylvester Stallone doing in the Hall of Fame? Yo, I was pissed. I was young. I didn't I had a different mindset. But now I have a different way I view things. I ask myself the questions I need to ask. Why would they do this? What could be a reason? This and that. And much older now, not high headed young like I used to be. Saw things one way. That was the old Edwin, you know. Um, and I like covering boxing because it really opens my eyes and it forces me to see things in different perspectives. I don't like the fact that a boxing match anticipation at the end is built up and my faith is put on you. Like I said, the ring announcer doesn't have to really read off the scorecards. Like if they were all in on it and my guy was the one that the judges officially said won the fight in the way you're scoring it, but someone had more money and he reads off the other guy's name and goes, that's where your fate is lying. Oh, I like the anticipation of watching a fight and not knowing who won. You like getting ripped off? Here, give me your money and wait for me right here. I'll be right back. I'm going in this building. Then you must be one of those guys. You're going to sit there and wait, aren't you? Good luck with that. You mean you rather take away all the elements of somebody accusing the judges of being in on it, the referee being in on it, or the Saudi prince determining who he wants to pick for the winner. So you rather keep all that because of your excitement rather than knowing the known. By knowing the score, right? Not only does it allow and alert the fighter that he needs a knockout, he needs a knockout. He can knock that guy out and take the scoring system right out of the equation, and it also can give you a better fight. It can motivate the other guy to win. I put it in there. No, I put it in the thing. Yeah. So, yeah. What's this? What are you saying, guys? Let me read some of your things. I want to stay with you guys. Warriors are warriors, baby. Jays. I think each corner should be able to request the scorecard. Yeah, right. Okay. Situations in boxing matches, guys. Here, I'm going to open your eyes, right? Check it out. Moments in boxing matches when the guy thought they were losing the fight. When Floyd Mayweather went running frantically into Tank Davis's corner and told him against Mario Barrio, yo, the unofficial scorecard says you're losing the fight. And Tank said, how am I losing the fight if I knocked him down? He says, no. It says on the unofficial scorecard, you're losing. Tank went out there and knocked him out. Tank thought he was winning because he scored the couple knockdowns prior to that. When Floyd went running to Tank's corner, Tank had already knocked down Mario Barrio in the fight. But the unofficial scorecard still had Mario Barrio winning the fight. By Tank going to his corner and saying, I'm saying on the unofficial scorecard, on the unofficial, you're down. What Tank do? Oh, knocked him out. When Terrence Crawford was fighting against Sean Porter going into the 10th round, they came to Terrence Crawford's corner and said, yo, they got you on the unofficial scorecard down on the fight. Terrence Crawford said, what? They said, you're losing the fight. The scorecard is saying you're losing. What did Terrence Crawford do? He got up and knocked out Sean Porter. No more scorecards. That you don't have to anticipate a win. You don't got to worry about nothing because the information that the fighter got made him lit a fire under his ass, and he went out there and gave you blood and provided you with that ah-ooh moment, that wow moment. Wow, oh shit, ooh, gave you your money's worth. Someone got knocked out. There has been situations in boxing, I can think back when they told the guy, yo, you're losing the fight. If we had a score, and the fighter knew it, I'm losing the fight. I got to knock this dude out. It's going to make him push. He's not sitting in the corner in the 10th round. Who's winning? Am I winning the fight? It's too close. Oh, you think I'm winning? Whew. Man, I got to take a round off. Yeah, you take this round off. Don't worry. You might be up you might be up a round, right? You guys, you might be up a round. You could take this round off. He ends up losing the fight. The round that he took off cost him the fight. He didn't know where he was. His team didn't know where they were. He needed a break, he knew. But he wanted to take this round off. The team said, take the round off. You're good. He takes that round off. He loses the fight. They got to know what they're working with sometimes. You can't take this round off, son. You can't. No, you can't. The fight is too close. It's 4-5 right now. If you take this right, it'll go to 6-4 going into the championship rounds. You can't take the round off. You need to tie it up and bow down on the mouthpiece and fight these last 2 championship rounds, son. According to the scoreboard, well, you can't take the round off. Come on, get it together. In crucial moments in the fight, you can make fight adjustments with information that you know. How do you want to be in the dark the entire fight? And then at the end, when they call the guy, you're like, oh, what the robbery? At least we'll know. It'll do away with robberies. It'll do away with these. It'll make the fighter be more locked in and engaged. It'll allow the coaches to know if they got to step on the gas. They can allow you play it safe. Look, kid, we're up 6 rounds to 2. Don't do anything stupid. He's got to come after you. We're up 6-2. He's got to come after you now. You don't got to take any risk, H2O. Don't go in there and get knocked out. You're winning every round. According to the scoreboard, you're winning every round, H2O. Stay to your game plan. No, H2O, he don't know who's winning. He think he winning. He's doing great. He want to go in there and give the fans a big knocked out and got knocked out. You can manage your fighter with a scoreboard. Boxing is good the way it is, really? So there's nothing wrong with the scoring in boxing. Really. So that O'Shaughnessy Foster fight, the first one against Cancellao, the first O'Shaughnessy Foster fight, that scoring was on point. When the first time in boxing history, the unofficial scorecard had O'Shaughnessy Foster winning every round but one. On the unofficial scorecard of the O'Shaughnessy Foster fight, they had him winning every round but one. And he lost the fight. Actually, the second fight was more competitive from the new champion at the time coming in, right? But scoring, there's nothing wrong with boxing. There isn't a person on planet Earth that I've ever heard say Cancellao won that first fight against O'Shaughnessy Foster. I've never met him. But there's nothing wrong with the scoring. No, we got to keep these judges, hold them accountable for their scoring. And for what judge is being on the up and up when they're asking for some of these judges' jobs. And referee, if you don't think any fouls or these teams are not putting in complaints to their office, you're sadly mistaken. Strikes start to go against you as an official, and your credibility as an official starts to sink. You're not asked to come back to the dance. But when you're not holding any of these officials accountable for how they're viewing these fights, they get away with it. They turn 80 years old and being an official and these officials are never held accountable. They can do whatever they want and you're okay with it as a fan. You like to be held in suspense. You like to be told the unknown, and whatever they say is how the fight they scored it. I can't agree to that. There's something obviously wrong here with the system that they have in place. They're not off. I'm not saying to reinvent the wheel. I'm saying rather than spend billions of dollars on some AI computer generated machine, use the system you already have in place. Use the 3 judges that you're doing every round when they close, exactly what they're doing. After every round in every fight in the US, they get the judge's scorecard. And the official that sits right here, that he's not a judge, he's an official. He takes, the referee hands him the scoring after every round. He tallies up the scores. At the end of the fight, the referee doesn't grab the scoring from the 3 judges. He grabs it from the official. He already got the tallied up number. What's wrong with them putting that official number on a scoreboard that the only person in the building that really knows the truth is that one official? Now, the 3 judges could have been doing their job, and the official, all you got to do is pay him. That's not a 9. That's an 8. Nope, you didn't win that round. He did. They're all being honest, the judges, but you still give it to one guy that has the ability. I mean, he's human, right? I'm not saying the guy's a cheater, but is he not human? Could he take a bribe? That's all I'm saying. After every fight, this is the way they score fights anyway. The referee, give me your card, give me your card, give me your card. Official, here you go. At the end of the fight, the official gives me the official scorecard. And I give it to the ring announcer. And he reads it. That's how it goes. What I'm saying is, he already knows what the fuck it is. After every round, he already knows what the true score is. Let's just be honest and put it on a board. Coming into the 12th round, your guy's down, right? Your guy, it's freaking 8-3. Your guy's getting wiped down. Yo, you need a knockout. And by the way, if the fans are watching that kind of fight, what is the expectation or the big mystery about who won when you could clearly see for your eyes anyway, this guy is just wiping him down. Not unless your name is Loshasi Foster, and then all of a sudden that shit is read out and you're like, there you go, mystery guy. You wanted to be held in the dark, not keep none of these guys accountable. But when it happens to your fighter and your favorite fighter gets ripped off, you're going to come back. Yo, you were right. All right. You gotta, that's, listen, in every major sport, there's a scoreboard right there. Shit, even in boat racing, everywhere, golf, they all got a scoreboard. Every sport, except us. They ain't no scoreboard, man. I'm like, man, then the UFC could probably do something like that, but that let them figure out their own shit. I'm talking about boxing and fucking like we got to do something. We got to do something because one of the biggest arguments I get on my sports channel is that they feel like either their fighters getting robbed, the right winner wasn't announced. I don't know what these guys are looking at. How are we scoring these fights around the world? They're viewing and scoring the fights different. Some people view it forward aggression, some people effective punching, some punches landed, the amount of punches. You look at copy box scorecards at the end of the fight, and it'll show you this guy threw 362 punches, he landed 139. This guy threw 529 punches and he landed 142. Then all of a sudden they announced the winner, and the guy that threw less punches won the fight. Now you're sitting there saying he outlanded him by almost 100 punches or something, hypothetically, in any other situation, not the one I just gave you. So let's say your guy, you see a scorecard that the other guy clearly outlanded him by 100 punches. The other guy's awarded the fight. The judges are seeing the fight by effective punches. You might have threw more punches. You even might have landed more punches, but his punches were more effective and the little that he landed. It can confuse you as a fan. Not every fighting fan is as fluent with the way the scoring goes, with the way the refereeing and the way the judges should view the fight. You know, a lot of fans don't understand what a rehydration claw is. Some fans don't even know the only belt in all of boxing that has one is the IBF. And now the WBA is rumored to have gone on with that. Let's see after this Tank, Tank, Frank, when Tank fought to Frank, they implemented the 10-pound rehydration. Remember? Then Tank said it wasn't because of me. It was because the WBA is saying for you to do this, and that's one of their new rules. So let's see if that really holds to be true. And every world title fight from there on in for the WBA is a 10-pound rehydration claw. But not every fan is fluent with all the ins and outs of boxing. And I just think that this is one of the ways we could hold and keep keep these guys accountable, these referees, these judges, these officials. There's no mystery, no secret. I know who's down on the game in the Celtic game in the fourth quarter. I know who's up. I know what they have to do to come back in the game. The score doesn't take away from me the suspense of who's going to win. It just adds to it. It adds to anticipate. I know how much points my team got to put up in order to secure a victory. And they understand what they have to do. They know what they're down by. I believe if the fighter comes into the 10th round knowing information like that, no, I'm down in the fight. I know what I have to do. I might have to knock this guy out. I can see the scoreboard and it's a fact. I got to drop this dude. So I just think that something more along the lines. And like I said, build off a system you already have in place. Hmm. Listen, look, my man. Accusations. um, I want to say, right? I know that judging, officiating, just like cheerleading in the NFL, uh, cheerleaders don't make a lot of money, right? What they make money is off of sponsorships, calendars. That's how the girls make money in cheerleading, right? Not not to say I ever dated one, right? 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 Um, the the way the referees make money and they get flown out there, I'm pretty sure that the referee, that they send out to a boxing match, paying his hotel, 3 meals for him, having him access there, right, ringside. Um, I think that the referees, they got their real job and refereeing is like their side job. I'm not sure if referees do refereeing like as you don't have no other income in the world. And as you build bigger fights, you get more money to referee. I don't think it works that way. Referees are like men and women that love the sport and they do get a paycheck. Yeah, I can imagine so. I'm not sure if you can sustain a lifestyle off of it, right? Because not all your fights and every fight you go to is a multi-million dollar fight. Maybe out of 30 fights you referee in a year, one is an Usyk fight. I'm not sure if, and then all of a sudden you're refereeing in Tijuana in some bar or in some gymnasium. I don't think the referees and the judges' lifestyle is all these huge events. All these judges, man, they're over here in Peru in some rinky dink officiating a fight. That fight is not generating a lot of money. So what do you think they're gonna pay you? Not every fight generates upwards to the 300-400 million dollar mark there with pay-per-view sales and nah, it doesn't work that way. Out of all the fights they send these officials and judges to, like I said, maybe one or two will be a big fight. That's it. I'm not sure what the pay grade is for a referee or a judge, but I don't think it's that much. Never really saw it like that, but I always heard a lot of, like, I've never met actually a judge. I met referees in real life. I never met a judge. I just never knew who the fuck they were. I saw them a lot from a distance, like in the conventions and shit. They have these badges. They're like these round badges, and you'll see them. And he's a judge for a boxing match. You'll see it. It'll depending what there, and there's also different other judges and referees you don't know about. The ones they don't talk about in the fights that they have there. They'll have like um there I think there's one backup judge to for all three. There's like one that they have backed up that's usually there, right? They got multiple officials from different branches of organizations, say the sanctioning, the athletic sports committee. You have to have some of those people in attendance. They have to be there live to view the event that you're hosting. There's a lot of other officials there and judges that are, they gotta make sure you're not putting together some rinky, and they gotta sanction it, that everything is on the up and up, so to speak. And but as far as why boxing was so much the wild wild west, why was boxing so corrupt back in then and even now? Boxing is one of the sports that's a cash business. It's still a cash business in a way, with technology cards and, oh, transfer me the money to my account now. Now you don't get an envelope in the back of the locker room. Used to be, they would come back there and give you your money for the night in cash. Here, you did good, kid. Here you go. Mobsters, guys like that found the way to clean money. It was a cash business, and gambling was a big thing in it. Controlling a fight, saying I won this much money in a fight, etc. You could always filter money into it. And that's why I think boxing got so out of control to where we're at today. There were a lot of big men jumping into boxing with a lot of money that wanted perhaps to clean some money. Back then. Now it's getting more cleaned. Boxing is starting to get serious. They're conducting themselves as a sport. Every sport, by the way, went through an era like this. Boxing's era might have lasted a little longer, but let's not forget when in the NBA, you hear the stories of them after the game or in halftime going back in the locker rooms, 86, 1986, 1985, 1987. They were drinking beer, sniffing lines at halftime. Dudes was on the NBA court, 8 balls were dropping out of their socks. So let's not act like every sport didn't go through a moment where shit was chaotic. It might have lasted a long time in boxing, but now they're tightening up a lot of things, and they're patching up a lot of holes. But there were a lot of men that have been here for 40 years plus. The Bob Arums of boxing. There's a lot of Bob Arums in boxing that are not boxing promoters. They just got their claws into boxing. 50 years. You're going to tell that man what? You can't do that no more. Put him in the closet. Like, yo, yo, listen. Like, and they're tightening up boxing a lot. They really are. Throughout the last 10 years, though, I gotta admit that boxing has made small steps and small changes to um, you know, hold the sport accountable. I like what they did with the X's and the signatures on the gloves. You can't get that X until the opposing team, one of their guys, witnessed you wrapping your hands. You're not getting that validation. And then there's an official in the room now from the Boxing Athletic Association. He's in the room. And your guys and stuff like that. That's holding these fighters accountable so that nobody cheats or do something stupid or take padding out of a glove. or want to push your glove down and and they can't watch everything, but that's how good boxing is getting now. Like that thing that happened to Miguel Cotto, may that never happen to another fighter again. So they are making small steps and leaps. Sometimes you might not notice these things, but they are. I pay attention to a lot of the things that are happening in boxing, and it's really, really starting to tighten up. I just believe that the just like any other sport, we need to evolve. We gotta implement more things to make this sport just that much more, um, you know, accountable for the outcome of the winners. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see Shakur, Archie Foster, lose like that just to have to fight again, bro. That's a hiccup in his career. You know who he could have went and fought? The next fight he could. No, now he had to taste defeat, get a loss in his record, rematch the guy, make it right with the wrong, the right. Now he has to go forward in his career. If we were keeping these guys honest, that robbery might have never happened. So, hey, look, not sure. Maybe these guys got an agenda, and even if you give him the scorecard, he's still. But I guess the fans will let him know it. Yo, what the hell you looking at, ref? Yeah, don't they let the referee know it in football and basketball? Hey, ref, you need glasses. Those referees are out there calling calls, taking the criticism right there. What's the difference? What's the so like we're gonna get up with a gun and just shoot the judge at a boxing match? Come on, man. They don't shoot them in the NFL basketball game or baseball. Stop making it seem like we're protecting these judges' lives from gangsters anymore. No, those times are over with. Like, nah, it's time to just correct the sport now. And that makes sports fun. Tell that to the guy that lost $10,000 on that last call the referee didn't see. Tell him, hey, are you having fun? Tell him. Tell the guy that won $10,000 because of instant replay. You see, there's factors in the sport. Yeah, you might say, "Oh, we don't get it right," or what. The thing is that's exactly what we've been asking for. Get it right. Get it right. I want to see if both his feet were in bounds. Human eyesight or judgment, maybe I was running as a jub, I tripped. I fell down. When I looked up, the play was over with. Referee, referee, is he in or is he out? I, did you guys see me fall down? Is it a touchdown or is it not? Hurry up, ref. Touchdown. They show on the Tumbletron, both feet out of bounds. Not even close. So instant replay is no good? If you agree with instant replay, the scoreboard is what? I can't say honestly every time a play was called, even if it didn't favor me, at least we definitively got to see the truth. Sometimes I wish they wouldn't have shown that. I don't want to see if it's told her and it's going to go against me, but it keeps us honest. I can't say in the end, oh, that referee was being bought. Why? Oh, he knew the play was happening. He tripped. He made himself fall so that when he looked up, he had the right to go like this. The referee's in on it. Somebody's going to say that. Somebody is going to say that. I'm not sure if I like a referee not to call a call that cost my team the World Series. He hit the ball, the fan reached out, grabbed the ball. Is it a home run or is it a foul? The ump referee said it was a home run. My team lost the World Series. Upon review, it was a foul. My team just lost the World Series because of human error. When we could do away with that, with the technology that we have. If you're talking about bringing AI to correct the situation, when then you're admitting there's a situation. If you're trying to do away with the judges we have today and testing out another piece of equipment, then there's a problem. We want to make something better. Here's a way that would stop you from spending billions of dollars on AI technology and just use what you have today. The same system you've been using all this time. Just put it on a scoreboard round by round. That's it. That last judge officiator that you got there, as a matter of fact, you don't even have to have him in boxing matches no more. That eliminates one guy you got to pay. You're actually saving money. We don't need the fourth official. All he's going to do, he can hold the scorecards, the official ones, so that there's no controversy, I guess. But you're basically eliminating his job. We already know the score. It's right there. So if he is making mysteriously $80,000, $100,000 for being an official, well, you know how much money we just saved? I don't know. You could hire any monkey to add. You know what I'm saying? You don't need some official that's been working in the referee thing for fucking 60 years and he gets paid $120,000 a year or some shit or some outrageous $50,000 to be there at a night. Well, you could save that money by just hiring anybody. You know how to add up 2 plus 2? Yeah, sit right here, add this up, put it right there. We don't even need you anymore, sir. The ring card girl can add it up. uh, like, come on, guys. Like, I just believe in a system that maybe that we should be aware of. It was a very interesting point that me and my brother came up with that um he was like, do you realize we could see every score in every major sport but boxing? And I was like, you know what? I think you're on to something. I was like, that's true as fuck, boy. Even in NASCAR, you can see how many laps they're going around. It says it right there. I mean, everything has a scoreboard, but boxing. Mm, it's necessary, even though people streaming, yeah, okay, the fights or watch the replay. Yeah, yeah, the ring card girl. She can tally that shit up. You know what I mean? Just get it on that board, you know? I just eliminated one official that they're probably paying thousands of dollars to be there. So, and then I also saved you billions of dollars on AI technology. You wouldn't need. And then this AI technology has to be at every boxing match. So how many of these AI computers, it's just not going to be one for every boxing match in the world. So you're going to need this AI technology in every city, who's paying for this? Who's paying for AI technology in their fights? And then to all the cities and states that can afford AI technology, how about the ones that can't? Do you count those, or do they go back to the Stone Age by paper? Is AI available and a worldwide? Can everybody afford this technology? Or can we already use the system we have in place and put it up? I think AI and all this shit is getting complicated. You guys are not thinking of all the ins and outs. In Peru, they're going to have a fucking AI. In Panama, in Puerto Rico, China, Japan, Costa Rica, wherever boxing matches are held, they would need this technology in order for you to pass it on as an official scoring method for fights. So what are you going to do? Sell it to me and say only world championship fights got the ability to have AI scoring? Only the rich get AI scoring? Only pay-per-view fighters? Now I wouldn't think it would be fair. You better get AI technology in that Tijuana bar. Because that's where Devin Haney came out of when he was fighting when he was a kid, in Tijuana bars in Mexico. Shit, if they got money for that in that bar, they had money for that. I don't think they would be in that rinky-dink bar. I don't know how you gonna get this technology to every fight. I know how you can get my way to every fight. It's already there. Like I said, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. There's just one factor you don't show us. I'm asking you to show it to us. Armando, you don't like that AI bullshit? I want to know how H3RI here expects it to get to everybody's place. No AI, no scoreboard. Leave boxing alone. According to H3R, whatever, I guess. My eyes got to be bad because that looks like an H8 and it looks like the letter B. But I'm guessing that it's H3RL. That's what I think it says. Anyway, my eyes are bad. I got to get it. I'm going to get them fixed. But that doesn't solve the problem, my man. Leaving the way things are and just allowing, that's why boxing has been backed up with the dinosaurs. That thinking like that is exactly why boxing's still back there in its view on ESPN after golf. That's why ESPN is leaving Top Rank again. Because Top Rank can't give ESPN a consistent base of fights. You know why? Because shit's not changing. They're keeping everything in the dinosaur stages. Kind of reminds me of that fan that says, I like football and it was tougher back in the 80s. And I'm like, hell no. There's no way I would want those clotheslining days to come back. There's no way I would like none of that because I would like to see my football player for a long time. I would have loved to see Barry Sanders for way many years. I would have loved to see Joe Montana for many more years. You know, not all these guys need to get hurt to prove that they're warriors out there, to smash into each other. That's not the game. The game is based off skill, achievement, athleticism, and scoring. That's what I want to see. This version of things being have to be so bloody or barbaric just to make it a what? A dangerous sport? I don't know what you want us to go backwards into the coliseums? Want us to fight lions and shit? I'm not sure. I'd rather my kids train with headgear to protect them, to save their career for longevity. I'd rather see them for an extensive amount of time than a short period. That would be like asking me if I liked it. Lomachenko's 2 gold medals. Hell the fuck no. I think that was foolish. I think Lomachenko's father hurt Loma for doing that to him. He was a father that babied his son and didn't want his son to go to play with the big boys and the pros. Who does that? Get 2 boxing gold medals in a sport you could actually go pro in? I could see if you were in swimming or the pole vault. You're not going to be a professional pole vaulter. That is the professional level, the Olympics. So I could see you staying there for multiple years and trying to medal. Yeah. But in boxing, you were going to go pro. Who the fuck gets 2 gold medals? By doing so, you came to the pros late. Vasily Lomachenko got 18 fights. And January 1st is the deadline he gave to Bob Arum, Top Rank, to make his decision if he's going to retire. You mean to tell me you're retiring out of the sport of boxing with 18 professional fights? There are fighters in boxing that have 18 fights and have even fought for their first world title. We didn't get to see enough of Loma. Had Loma came into boxing when he won the first gold medal, Loma would have about 30 fights now. And we would have saw him fighting a lot of good fights. He wants to come in. His father didn't let, bro, his father made him take tap dancing for 6 years, I heard, before he let him put on another box. You think that his father doesn't show over signs of protection? He's overprotecting his kid? I think he overtrained Loma. He had him doing things for, although the methods and the fighter he made his son, excellent. I don't have anything with that. I just think he just overworked him. He made Loma prove himself way too much before he let Loma be a man. Shingo with Naoya Inoue, he kind of did the same thing with Naoya Inoue, but he knew when to let Naoya Inoue be himself. For instance, I'm not sure if you guys know this, the Japanese fighter Naoya Inoue, I study him a lot. His father had him boxing since he was a baby, right? A little kid, 3, 4 years old. He made his brother, Naoya Inoue, and his brother Takuma fight and train in the gym against no one, the air, for 6 years. All Naoya Inoue did from the time he put on a pair of boxing gloves for 6 years is hit a bag, a speed bag, or mitts. He never actually sparred against anyone. He never punched anyone in the face, nothing. His father took one look at him one day and said, "Son, we've been training for 6 years. For this moment right here, you have a choice. You could work over here and continue doing this, or if you would like to try to fight, here's your gloves. That's your first opponent. See if this is meant for you." He went in there, beat the kid up, came back, looked at his father in the face. "Dad, I want to do it again." From there on in, Shingo allowed his son to be the warrior he is. He took the training wheels off in that moment, right then and there. Lomachenko's dad, Lomachenko had training wheels on to the day he walked in the ring as a professional. And when he got out, his father still had the training wheels on him. He lost his second fight for the world title. His dad put the training wheels back on. See, I told you. Yo, that man was just, I don't know. But I'm not going to take that back. I think he did hurt Loma's career, but the love of a father for their son and trying to protect your son, you can lose sleep behind that. You don't ever want to be that dad that, got your kid that motorcycle or that car and he ended up crashing and you live with that guilt. It wasn't, and in fact, it was never your fault. You gave your kid what they wanted. They didn't respect it. They were the ones that didn't respect what you gave them. You know, unfortunately, no matter what, that won't solve nothing. It won't help you anymore, but just don't keep killing yourself with guilt over things like that. And most fathers, like Loma's father, like, you know, there's a chance your son can go into that ring and never come out that ring the same. So I get why he did it, but because of father's love. So when I look at it in that regards, I'm not gonna question I'm not gonna judge another parent how they should raise their own kid. I'm not gonna be that guy, you know. But um looking out through his career, and what he did in the moves, I just feel like he took too long to become a professional. And now in 18 fights, he's announcing his retirement. Like, we just didn't get to see enough of him. And he was an amazing fighter. Still is. I would love to see Loma fight some of these top guys like Tank and Shakur. Hell yeah, I'll go out to see that fight. You're damn right I will. So yeah. Bring back the Coliseums, Lionheart says. Yeah, coming from a guy with his first name being Lion. Well said from a guy with his name's Lion. No wonder you want to feed us to the lions, Lionheart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 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 He's probably got a Coliseum right building outside his backyard right now. Yeah. Bring back the chariots, huh? You know what I mean? Give them nets and spears. Let them earn the blade. Huh? He said, I'm not hiding it. Yeah, Lionheart. Bring back the Coliseums. Yo. You bring back the Coliseums, I'll come out of retirement. Now we talking. Oh, throwing a spear. I'm gonna win my freedom. What was the sword that they gave you at the Coliseums when, like, you won as a slave? You would win your freedom. I forgot. It was like a wooden sword, right? And this is like in real time, like real shit, not the movie shit. Like, I know they had the movie The Gladiator, but I don't think they ever showed that wooden sword, or did they do it in the movie at some time when he was talking to him? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they ever did, but there was. It was like this wooden sword, like the slaves would be awarded after so many victories. And there was like this real dude. He was like a real warrior, and he was supposed to be, I guess, a vegetarian from what I read at the time. And he was awarded that sword, the wooden sword, like 3 or 4 times. He was granted his freedom. He just didn't never left. That's all he knew by then. By then, blood, the fans yelling his name and everything. He actually died as like a free dude. Yeah, I don't think he was killed in the ring. I can't remember. I read this a long time ago. I used to look up like famous warlords and warriors and stuff. Like I tell you guys, I'm not bullshit when I tell you that I do watch fighting to see what the best fighter and the best warrior looks like. I always wanted to know, was Genghis Khan like just like a leader that called shots, or did he do his own dirt? Was Genghis Khan like really him? Did Achilles put in his own work? Did um what's that dude that they say that he was short and I found out he wasn't really that short? Napoleon. When I looked up his real story of conquest, when they exiled him to Egypt and his brother set him up and he was trying to be like a gangster and the beginning of his life, and for them to elect him in, like real like opposing men, gangster men. I've looked them up, like Pablo Escobar. He tried to take over Colombia and had tanks go to the office, to the courthouse and take all the documents they had on him. He built his own jail type shit. And before he got to that, he was trying to work with the people and tell them, elect me in. They was like, no, you're a drug lord. And just tough man, world leader. I used to look shit like that up before I was covering the sport. So, and that's where I get that at. Like interesting men that really like did real fucking shit. They live in interesting times, and even throughout their times, they still were at the top, and it was what they did. I found it interesting, and on all my studying of these guys, the one thing I did remember about all their stories was as soon as they did something, they made a law for the next person not to come up and able to do it, to follow them. Like if they conquered, raped, pillaged, and murdered everybody in this country, and they renamed it and everything, they put a law up that nobody could come and rape, kill, pillage, any of this, or we would all gang up on you, type shit. Every time they did something, any of these big guys that I read up on, that was the one thing they had in common. That once they did something, they would deem it not so that no one else did it before that, like that. That was one of the things they mostly all had in common. Yeah. You believe the freedom to fight anyone at any time and anybody you want? Um, that's a cool expression or belief to have. Just make it sanctioned with rules, because what would stop the freedom from somebody walking up to your mother and punching her in the face because they felt the freedom to fight? I just feel like she was looking at me wrong in line, and since since the law was said we should fight anyone at any time, I'm just gonna punch this lady in the mouth. She happened to be your mom, but the law states I should be able to fight anybody I want. Matter of fact, after I punch your mom in the mouth, I beat up your little brother. You didn't say anything about height, weight, size. Even though he's 10 and I might be 40 something, I'm gonna decide to beat him up. But don't worry, some other bully's gonna come and beat me up eventually. Because that's how karma works, right? So eventually somebody's gonna beat me up. So the fact that I should be able to fight and beat up anybody at any time, that's not gonna bring out guns, right? No one's gonna get shot for punching your mom in the face, right? That's not gonna escalate to a worse situation, right? I'm not sure. I believe we should have the ability to fight anybody we want, but under a set of guides of rules and structure. Yes, competition is competition. Being a bully is being a bully. Choosing to fight this guy because I know I can beat him, or maybe I fight this guy because I am a tough guy. But I don't think that nobody should walk up to my mom and punch her in the face. I don't recommend that for no one. I don't recommend you try to hit my kid. And I don't recommend you beat up my little brother, right? If my little brother was in a gym fighting in a boxing match and he came home with a black eye, I'd be like, come here, kid. That's your first trophy. Come here. Put some ice on that. You're going to get a few more of those, but you'll get better. You know, I should be able to fight when I earned it in a regulated environment, controlled environment. Yes. Let's not go back to gang fights in the street corners. You know, even though we never left there, but it went from gang fighting to shooting. I don't think fighting, it never stood at fighting. Not everybody can fight. You ever see some of these YouTube videos of these kids fighting now? Oh my God, is that bad? These guys are more fighters up here than they are here. In their head, they're fucking ninjas, bro. Yo, I saw this videotape though, but I gotta admit, this kid has a warrior spirit. A warrior spirit. There was a kid, this black kid he was in a fight with these other three black kids, right? And then he got up off the ground. The minute he got off the ground, he threw a karate kick like a Power Ranger. In the middle of the fight, he legitimately did a cartwheel. And off the cartwheel, he kicked the kid in the face with his back foot. Then he got up, he did some shit like this and tried to kick the other kid. Now, it was comical to watch the fight. It looked pretty silly and he had no technique. None of them did, right? But for that kid to get off the ground and to try those moves, he's a fighter. He didn't know what to do. He probably saw Power Rangers as a kid and thought that that's how fighting really goes. Yo, and in the meme, they play the Power Rangers soundtrack in the background and they're just watching the kid fight. And this is a real fight. And he's really fighting like that. He could have got hurt fighting against a real fighter. Like, dude could have hurt him bad. You know, the one kid threw a punch and it was just like a wild, he went into the windmill. He almost connected on him. My man still is evading and everything with that Power Ranger style. I could not believe it. He legitimately did a cartwheel in the fight as a move. You know how like when guys like roll on the ground? He got up, did a kick, and did a cartwheel. Like, what would have stopped me from kicking you in the chest doing a cartwheel? In the middle of the cartwheel. Like, what the fuck are you doing? like what? But his creativity as a kid, not knowing how to fight, it was obvious he didn't know what to do. He didn't back down. He didn't stop fighting. He was fighting two guys at the same time. He wasn't fighting one kid. He was fighting two kids at the same time. And I was like, man, he's a fighter. That kid's a fighter. Most kids not knowing how to fight would have balled up in a ball, would have started crying, would have yelled for help, would have ran. They'd have left their girl there, their best friend, their brother. They don't know how to fight. This kid had no idea how to fight. And he said, I'm going to try shit. That's a fighter. He wasn't scared to try shit. And so, although it looked, I saw his heart on full display. That takes balls to do that in a fight, bro. To do a cartwheel in a man, listen. Yo, that takes balls, man. Oh my God, bro. Yeah, by Turkey, man. Everybody seems cursed by Turkey. I'm not. I see it in a well, Armando, let's just remember something. Let's just remember something, right? I've pointed out a lot of things that I like about Turkey Al Sheik, and I pointed out the things that he's suspect about. I told you guys that he was trying to do away with the belt and the Usyk and Tyson Fury fight, leading all the way into the fight. You didn't see these belts advertised until the last day of the fight when they had them on the table. They had the belts on the table. Tyson walked down, Usyk walked down, and then finally the organizations got to show their belts. I want you to keep in mind two things, right? One, the reason why these fights have been in the sand out there was only because of Tyson Fury. Because Tyson Fury couldn't go to America. Had it not been because their biggest star, Tyson Fury, could fight anywhere else, they never built that ring out there in the sand. They never built that big ass building, none of that. That was all to give Saudi Prince control of that fight. Now, he was going to take that fight and that night, start building off of boxing. There's good things he does, things I'm not in agreement with what he does. But I can't blame him for doing the exact tactics employed that have already been here in boxing for years. The same gimmicks, the same things that Turkey Al Sheik is doing, all these boxing promoters been doing it throughout the years. Just because he has more cameras on him, might have more allure. When the dude comes in with a whole white suit on and thing on his head, you ain't from around these parts, are you? You might attack attention because in back of you, there's 50 other people. They're all here for you. You must be important. Right? He's got some cameras on him. Every move he makes is always on social media. But how many moves had throughout the years have Bob Arum made, Oscar De La Hoya, Ed Hearn that you don't know about? How many shiesty shit they've done to the sport of boxing, you think? Turkey just got a microscope on him. And if you haven't noticed, right, it's just not boxing that they're buying up, brothers. Go on Netflix right now. How many of them movies on Netflix right now, Turkey Al Sheik people? You go newest release. Who is this Indian looking romantic superstar? He's on the thing like this. He's got his shirt open with the muscles. He's, like the next Fabio hero, but from their country. And I'm like, I guess this guy is real famous over there. I don't know who he is. That's not Brad Pitt, so, or Tom Cruise, or any of the action stars. It's some dude with black slick back hair with a smooth tan as fuck like this. And he's like, I'm here to save you. And I'm like, the next movie, them. The next movie, them. The next, them. I turn on the UFC. They're in the front row of the UFC with all their turbans, right? I put on boxing. There they are. They're in the row in boxing. Shit. I turned on the NBA the other day. They were in the corner of the NBA. Movies, there they are. Music, there they are. Shit, they're even rapping now. Shit. Homeboy just dropped the latest single. Hey, wait a minute. 10 toes in when we standing on business. Wait, whoa. Hey, who? America done sold us out. who sold them all this stuff? Like, yo, they got an embassy, right? Like the Turkey Al Sheik people. My man's got a building right across the street from the White House, like that big ass building that's mad important. The street the building adjacent to their building is owned by them. Right across they own it. They got money, bro. They're into everything. They're into everything now. You're gonna see them here, there, and I believe they're just businessmen with a shitload of money, bro. Bored as fuck. I guess expand, right? You're out there in the desert. You got all this gas money. You've hit $1 trillion 20 years ago. 20 years ago, they hit $1 trillion, them people, right? And it was like the Muslim people, right? I say them people. I talk so old sometimes, right? I don't think I could say that nowadays, can I? Right? A correction if I did, or if I'm offending anybody. It's just my old accent, my old ways. I am a little bit up there in age. But they like had all this money. I mean, if you got like $1 trillion, what do you do with it? Do you venture out to other countries that are more what I would think at the time, probably, they started building out there, cracking that sand open and making all these structures in Dubai. But I don't think Dubai got built overnight, right? So before Dubai was Dubai, I don't think all this shit happened overnight. I think there was a lot of connections and years of relationships, and then we kind of Americanized them in a way. You should see their movies now. Back when you watch like Telemundo and Spanish channels, right? Weren't the soap operas or the Spanish channels? They were like, the guy would come in, he would Maria, right, and the camera would like go in and out on his face, and then he would turn Fernando, right? Right? It was like real dramatic, like over the top acting for Latin actors. And then they saw they kind of kept it that way for a while too. But you could see where they're adapting more American ways. The Westerns, they'll change everybody. Wherever the freaking Westerns go, they change everything, man. Pretty soon they're going to have these guys working around with their turbans tricked out. Mark my words. There's going to be some young dude, Muslim dude, and he's going to find a way to trick it out, and they're going to frown on it. And he's, Dad, man, it's America, Dad. And like, he's going to have like gold or something on it. And we change everybody. Americans, we change everybody's style. We got so much style, flair, culture here in America that everybody likes our style. Everybody likes the American style. Not everybody, but they be biting us. You know what I'm saying? Because we got in America, in actuality, everyone's here. It's like one big party. We're all here. Everybody from every country is in America. That's what America is. So and then we all gave each other each of our pieces of our culture. We shared it with each other. We saw them doing something and we did it, and we, you know what I'm saying? That's how we are. That's why we're at the top of one of the biggest places in the world. So it's just it's funny. You see them everywhere now. You see Muslims involved in a lot of things, and they don't know all our ways. They don't know all our cultures. They might think they do. They might think they have Americans figured out, but we're not. I can guarantee you they don't got us figured out. They don't know how we are. Some of us can be hard asses and tough motherfuckers and this and that, and we could, but for some reason when tragedy happens, a lot of us come together. We come together, they really came together for each other themselves at that New York World Trade Center event and in Boston bombing and stuff. And, the communities came together for the Americans. You come around and push us. We'll rise up on your ass, you know. So, like, sometimes, yeah, we can be a little bit separated, I guess, but they're trying to learn our ways and what we like. They're trying to give us these big boxing matches and shit, Turkey Al Sheet. But I don't like how he's trying to change some things. I guess he's starting to learn that in American business, sometimes you got to lead by force in American business. In some instance, you can't allow us to push you around. You got to push back sometimes if you want to prove to us you can hang with us. Because some American sharks, if you show weakness, we'll eat you. You know how we get down out here. Come out here spending all that money. We'll take you for a sucker and take all that money from you. Americans are hustlers. We're not all these nice people. Don't think that our leaders and everything are these good, nice people. Nah, they're not. They might wear suit and ties, but make no mistake, they're gangsters. Just a legit way of being a gangster, I guess. But they're ruthless. They're ruthless. You know what I'm saying? So the business mindset of the way Turkey Ali Sheik is doing it, I guess his approach. Um, since he's not from around here, I can have my guard up and I'm watching him like this. Like I'm looking at Turkey like this. Cause he ain't one of us. You're not from around here, are you? Type shit. And I guess with every friend that moved into the neighborhood, they gotta earn their way. We gonna test you. We gotta make sure you're one of us. You know what I'm saying? You just don't come around and move into the neighborhood and think because I shook your hand all of a sudden you're good. Yeah, walk down that corner, take that left, you're good. No, you better check in with some people. I don't know where you guys live, but anyway, you know. So, hey, I I like I said, like I like what Turkey does. I like what he's doing sometimes. I'm not in agreement with everything. No. I see their money, how powerful they are as people, as them, I see I'm not familiar with what to call him. Like I don't want to they call him the Saudi prince, right? It's the Saudi prince. So the Saudis are the Saudis, right? I don't ever want to fucking call, excuse my language, call him like the other guys. Like for instance, this is what I'm trying to say. I don't like to be called Mexican. I don't like to be called Dominican. I don't like to be called Cuban. Nothing. No, I'm Puerto Rican. Oh, you guys all look the same. Like, no, I don't get offended as much anymore. I won't be ignorant in correcting you, right? Like I used to be when I was young. I was real ignorant, right? Nowadays, no, excuse me, no, I'm not Mexican, I do it with a smile today, you know, and I will correct you. And if you want to get belligerent or now I see that you're doing it, that's a different situation, right? But I don't want to offend anybody or think that I'm talking down or about them because I don't know the correct way to address their Muslim. I'm I never busted out a map and was like, yo, let me get familiar with their ways. I've never done that. I don't know what to really call him. He just entered my sport in boxing. I feel a little bit uncomfortable sometimes talking about him because I never want to offend anybody, say anything wrong. You know, I just have a tendency of talking or expressing myself the way I was raised. I'm American made. What they made, man. I can't be anything else. I don't know how to be fake. I never went to school for that. But I'm not shitting on nobody and I'm not disrespecting anybody. Those are never my intentions. Never my intentions. These people got a lot of money. I just want to make that clear. Look, dog, I ain't talking about you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Round One Sports Talk get shut down tomorrow. Yo, I ain't saying nothing wrong, bro. Yo, chill, chill, chill. you know, I just respect, just respect. I just, and today's topic was basically, about a situation in boxing, and I just really wanted to get you guys' opinions and your insights on how you feel, or how we could change some of the things in boxing to make boxing great again. Look at me. I sound like Donald Trump. Let's make boxing great again. Elect me as your. You know what I mean? I want to make boxing great again. You know? And I just wanted to bring that up. Maybe I can spark something, say something. Maybe you could take off of what I said. Say, yo, Ed, what? What if we did it like this? You a little bit like this, a little bit like that. Then I'm an open-minded person. Just because your idea was better than mine won't mean that I won't accept your idea or put it out. I'll be like, now this guy got a better idea. I'm not a hater. I like to see us progress. And I see the value in progressing. And I see the value of not staying stagnant. You want your sport to kind of evolve too. What were some of the things that were hurting it? Check into it. Don't keep things always going the same. Just because there's only two men in there at a time, you think the sport can't evolve anymore. Yes, it could. You know, if we listen to Lionheart, we'll be back in Coliseums. You know what I mean? And any day now, we'll have swords and picks and nets in the Coliseums. We'll be fighting lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Why Lionheart is eating popcorn in row section B that he knows he don't got a ticket for that seat. Lionheart, get your ass in the bleachers. Check his ticket. Yo, you know what I'm saying, Armando? Lionheart ain't got no money for those seats. Stop playing with me. You know what I mean? Yo. Trump card on TikTok, on YouTube. Edwin, there's a documentary called Trump Card on YouTube. Check it out. I'm gonna have to check it out then. You guys know that TikTok was supposed to, I guess, go down today, and Donald Trump saved TikTok. I don't know if I got the news article right or nothing. My wife walked in real quick, and she walked over here, grabbed something, and while she was looking at her phone, she was going, TikTok was supposed to be banned, but Donald Trump stopped it, and she was on her way walking out. So that's the extent I know on that story. I haven't saw anything. I didn't look anything up on, you know what I mean? So, but she said something about that. I guess TikTok was going to be banned from social media or the internet, and I guess Donald Trump stopped it. But that in Tubi, I'm gonna check that out. I gotta check that out. I've never seen anything about what they're doing or what people think that the Saudi prince or the Muslim people are doing, and these are just things I'm recognizing with my own two eyes. And if you're telling me right now that other people are already doing documents on the very thing I'm talking about, then I must be onto something too as well, and I might not be the only one that sees it. You understand? But money's a motherfucker, I guess, right? Powerful men are doing powerful things. And I guess they're expanding. They don't want to live in the desert sand no more with all that money. I guess they would like to feel their feet in between grass. Maybe see a pool or lake after 100,000 miles. You look left, you look right, all you see is sand. You wonder why we fighting each other every day when there's only two palm trees and one puddle of water between both our villages. My kids need to eat. If you can't beat me in a fight, for those fruits on that fruit tree, we fighting. They don't have enough resources. They get it flown in, transport in. Why you think they always fighting? Whatever resources they really got, and I mean that in a joking matter, 2 palm trees in a little puddle. It might be 500 palm trees in one lake, but that 500 palm trees in that one lake is enough to fight over. When we live in sand, it's not enough resources. That's why I think they always fighting. It's got to be something like that. Nothing grows out there. You're not going to tell me you got apples and fruit trees in over there, bro. And if they did, they imported them, brought them somewhere, made their own grass, dug some stuff up, right? But guess what? It ain't going to rain enough for your crops to get the right. You're not going to be able to pull it off. You're not surrounded by enough body of water neither. Like I said, whatever part in that sand area, that huge land mass of a continent, whatever grows out of that ground, you better believe we fighting over it. What deems you the right that you should have it? I'm looking at my kids' eyes. They're hungry right now. And you know what I think? I should have it. The fight will never end. There's not going to be no God, Bible. Nothing's going to ever fix that. You guys live in sand. You got all the money in the world. It must be crazy. Like they got these places like in Dubai, right? You see it. They're starting to make like these cities, and they're all man-made. I mean, every city's man-made, right? But where they got it, right? They bring in a lot of outside shit. Here in New York, Massachusetts, Florida, Chicago, wherever. We already got our seasons, and we got our roads, and we do business with the surrounding things, and things get imported, and people have a store and they cook, and there's trees and everything, and so forth. In Puerto Rico, it's better. You can actually climb up a tree anywhere there and just pull something down and eat it. It's basically food rotting on the side of the roads in Puerto Rico, just falling out of the trees right there. And over there, those people would kill for that. In some of their parts in their area, it's just all sand, bro. It's crazy. So I can imagine having all that money and then choosing to branch out so that my next generations, of people don't grow up like that, I guess. Maybe it would be proud to be your people. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just speculating, spitballing here. But to have that much money, why you ain't staying home? There's a reason for that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna watch this documentary you're talking about. I hope they talk about some of the things I talked about, because it would also like, like really like for some of the things I've thought of. But anyway, there's people that are qualified that can deal with these situations. I'm not qualified to deal with that shit. You know, I cover boxing, so let's get back to that. So anyway, guys, yeah, today's show is basically about rule structure changes, things like that. I wanted to just get your opinions on it. Um, I had some notes here about some other of things, but I guess I'll leave that maybe for tomorrow later on tonight if I can get away from the missus tonight. I gave her enough of my week. I'm going to tell you that much right now. Okay, I have really tried to be the guy that didn't say no to my wife. You need help with this? Yes, I got you. This, yes, yes, yes. And because for me to put up this channel, get all these things and everything, she put up with a little bit of my bullshit and my craziness. I was out. No, I need this. I need that. No, we driving over here. We gonna get this. Stop with me over here first. Let me talk to this person. You know, she's put up with my little crazy boxing thing here for a little while. So I told her, I was like, look, you got my attention, baby. You need me for this, I got you. I'm gonna do this, do that, and not always talking about boxing while we're out on a date. You know, I'm like, remember when Lennox? I don't even know who Lennox Lewis is. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, fight fans, man. Thank you for tuning in today. Had an amazing time. I'm smart. Am I that close to it, Armando? Now you got me wanting to watch this thing. Now you really got me wanting to watch this thing now. You're a document nerd, yeah? Yeah, Armando, man. Listen, Armando, man, you are the best, bro. Lionheart, all of you guys. Listen, you guys are the best. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting Round One Sports Talk. And you know, we can talk about anything. Sometimes we can talk about more things than just boxing, guys, you know, and we could have a conversation. So, guys, let me see if I can get a hop on again tonight. I always love coming on talking boxing with you guys. Let's see how things are going on in the world of boxing. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Please don't forget to hit that like button for me where the war fights start. Round one. Have a good day. Take care of each other.